And welcome to this hopefully very brief screencast where I want to show you same time, different place collaboration with GitHub and Google Hangouts. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to connect with a fellow developer named Anthony via Google Hangout, and I'm going to ask him to make a minor edit to one of the files in my repos. And in order to do that, I'm going to use what I view as centralized collaboration. So normally, in the classical Git strategy is to fork repos and issue pull requests and so forth. And some of you may know about that, but we're going to use a much simpler method, at least at this point in the semester, in which I'm going to simply provide him with commit privileges to my GitHub repo. That's going to enable him to clone my repo to his local workspace, make the change, and then actually commit his changes back into my repo. And this can be a very efficient way to do development when you trust the developer to, you're both on the same team, or you know them, and you know that they're not going to do something crazy and insert trapdoors or something bad in your code. The fork and pull request mode is for when you essentially have collaborators you've never heard of. They're halfway across the world, but they have some interesting thing they'd like to do. Then the fork and pull request model is a much better way to go. Anyway, this time, for right now, we're going to use this centralized approach. So after I give him my commit privileges, he's going to clone my repo to his computer, make a fix to my code on his computer, and then he's going to commit and push those changes back to my GitHub repo, where now I can sync my local computer to get them, right? So let's see how this works. Let me get out of this. And what I'll do is I'll go to GitHub. I'm sorry, I'm going to Google+, okay? And I'm going to start up a Hangout, and I need to know his Google Gmail address to make this happen. So he shows up here, and I can click plus, and then I'm going to make a video call. Hey, Anthony.
Hey, can you hear me?
Let me just boost up the volume. How about now?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you. How about?
Okay.
Good.
Yep, perfect.
Excellent.
Yep.
Okay, so I've got this minor problem with one of my play repositories. Was hoping you could help me with it.
Okay, sure.
That's great. Thank you. So could you, via the chat window, could you send me your GitHub account name?
Sure. All right. All right, sent.
Oh, great. Okay, so that's that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you access to my GitHub repo.
Okay.
And so I'm going to play FluentLenium settings, collaborators, paste that in there. And okay, there we go. So he shows up. I can click add. Okay, so now he's a collaborator. And now what I'll do is I'm going to send you back via chat the actual repo URL so you can get at it. And basically what I'd like you to do is edit the readme.md file with your sense of what version of play this is, if you would.
Okay, sure.
So here's,
sure.
I just sent you the URL. It's called Play Example FluentLenium.
Okay. I'll go ahead and screen share my screen so you can see what I'm doing here.
Oh, that sounds good.
So let me go ahead and copy this link first. All right, clicking screen share.
Dude, I hear birds in the background.
I'll tell you what, I'm getting a fantastic. Well, I just want to screen share. I was just going to show you the sunset. I'll show you the sunset
Okay.
in a few seconds. It's great right now. Anyway, all right, so do you see my screen?
Yes, I do.
All right, so I'm going to go ahead and open up a terminal window,
Okay.
and I'm going to go to my development directory, and the first thing I'm going to type is git clone, which allows me to clone your directory, and since you've made me a collaborator, I should be able to do that. And before I go to clone this, I'm going to have to go to this web page on Git. So let me just go ahead and go to the link you sent me.
So you don't have the Git app installed on your local computer, eh?
I just do everything from the command line.
Okay, all right. Hardcore.
So it's the only way I know how to do it.
Okay.
So over here under HTTPS clone URL, this is the URL I need to clone. So I'm going to click copy to keyboard, and I'm going to come back to the terminal window, and I'm going to go ahead and paste that URL, and it's going to clone Philip's play example for Fluent Lenium. And if I look, we can see that there it is, play example Fluent Lenium.
Good.
I'm going to go ahead and go in there, and I'm going to try to figure out what version of play you're using, and I'll update your README file once I figure that out.
Excellent.
So, let's see here. It's in the project up. We have a build.scala. Let's see what the contents of the build.scala has. Well, that's just the version of the software. If it has the build.scala, though, I'm pretty sure this is version 4.2 or 4.1 of Play, excuse me. So to edit it, I'm simply going to fire up my favorite editor, and I'm going to go into readme.md.
Good.
And here it is, and I'm going to go ahead and specify that this works with Play version 2.1.
Yeah, sounds good.
And I'm going to save it, and I'm going to go back to the terminal window, and I'm going to exit out of my editor. And if I do a git status, it's going to show me that the readme.md file was modified, so I need to add it to my current working set. So I'll simply do git add readme.md, and now I'm going, and if I do a git status again, we can see that it's ready to be committed. So I'll go ahead and commit the changes, git commit -m for message. I'm going to simply leave a message that I updated the README. And the only thing left I have to do is push it back to the server. So I'll do a git push. I'm pushing it back to the origin on the master branch. And it's going to go ahead and ask for my git information. And I've updated it. And Philip, if you could go ahead and check, you should have received those changes now.
Okay, let me see. I'm going to sync my branch. And let me look at my history. And yes, I just got the updated README. Shows that you've added that to the README file. So I think we're good to go. Thank you so much for your help. Really appreciate it.
No problem at all. And here, I know you're stuck in the office, so for all of your students, there's the nice sunset.
All right, excellent.
All right, thank you.
Have a good evening. Take care.
Yeah, you too. I'll catch you later. Bye.
Bye. Okay, so I'm going to hang up there. If we refresh this page, you can see that Anthony just updated a minute ago. And if I were to go into that README file, I'd see these changes. Okay, so that's basically, he was using the command line. This GitHub app is actually a lot simpler in terms of making changes. You just do a commit and sync to push, or if you switch, you just want to commit without syncing, you can do it that way. And if you just want to sync your branch, you don't have anything to commit, you want to find changes, then you press this button up here. Okay, so that's a real quick introduction to same time, different place collaboration with Google+ and GitHub.